Jumbo everyone, and welcome to the Wellness Diary. I'm your host Seth Nyabere, a mental health advocate and founder of the Wellness Diary Foundation. This is a safe, non-judgmental space where we have real conversations around mental health, healing, growth, and life itself. Every fortnight, we sit down with psychologists, clinicians, support workers, community leaders, and people with lived experience to break down the conversation that too often get hidden behind stigma. Whether you're here to better understand yourself, support someone you love, or simply learn, you belong here. Because mental health education shouldn't be gate-kept, it belongs to all of us. This is the Wellness Diary.
The second place that I designed, which was a place called Hurstbridge Farm, which you know well,
Very well.
is entirely based on that understanding
Yes.
and upon the importance of the creation of safety and predictability.
Okay.
Because those ramps create the environment where things can change.
That's what you call healing.
That's what you call healing.
The way up.
Yeah. And you've seen it happen.
I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand, Bob. And Bob, you've also had an experience working with groups, especially men from a background of involved in family violence. And do you when you look at it and what Adela is saying, does it stem back from childhood, or do you find it to be different from it?
Sometimes it does, particularly in cases where a child feels absolutely powerless, dependent on adults. As they get a bit older, they're dependent on ramps. But if there's a lack of response and emotional understanding of the sense of powerlessness, it can get to the point where, okay, if my world is about who has the power, I'll get it. And most of those situations of gendered violence are based on power and the use of power to dominate partners and children.
For survival.
Yeah.
You
their idea of survival.
Yes, their idea of survival.
So it's a protective.
It's all they know.
It's a protective kind of aspect.
Yeah.
If you're protecting, does it also stem? Do you think it stems from fear?
It stems from something that is a precursor to fear, right? Because what I'm talking about with complex trauma is so deeply buried in the developmental process of how the brain organises itself.
Yes.
It has no consciousness.
Okay.
So you talk to kids, it's like trying to talk to an earthworm. If you're not in a place where you can think, there is no capacity to talk about it. The safer children feel, and adults, the safer they feel within the context of a healing relationship or a helping relationship, the more hope there is for discussion towards change and the belief in the possibility of change. You know, when I first started in the field of this work in 1972, I believed, because that was a prevailing view, that it was all about relationship.
Yeah.
What I learned over time, and the more I learned about complex trauma, is that relationship is the vehicle, but something else happens. If it's just relationship, then it's only okay when you're there.
Yeah.
Or some other trusted person is there. But what really provides healing is that eventually becomes internalized. by the child or the young person, so that you have been able to provide an environment within which their brain can change, can alter. And it does.
Yeah.
And at Hurstbridge Farm, you've seen that happen.
Yeah, I've seen that happen, yeah.
And there is no, I mean, as an example, one small example, in that model,
Yeah.
children don't walk around the place on their own. They are co-regulated with a calm, safe adult everywhere they go,
Yeah.
except toilet, shower, and in bed at night.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. And the reason for that is that co-regulating adult is drawing a road in front of the child of certainty.
Yeah.
They don't have that road.
Yeah.
So through that relational interaction, suddenly they start to develop a sense of safe self. And once the self is safe, then the brain can rewire and does.
And healing is a process.
Yes.
It's a small step-by-step process to get to a healing point. It also takes, as we talk of young people and children, but also, you see, when you get to an adult and someone like me, my healing process is quite different because I have to walk through that journey. And I find like with an adult, it's like addiction of some sort. Like you have to identify what the issue is or what you went through for you to start to walk that journey. And
they still need to feel safe to do that.
You still need to feel safe to
still need to feel
the kind
safe.
of relationships you have, the environment you surround yourself with.
If they can't do that, I mean, you talk about, say, substance abuse. How common is it for people to do well in an environment where they feel safe?
Yeah.
And then they leave that environment where they feel safe and they slide backwards.
So before we get to Bob, the training that you gave to the teachers, so was it more of a therapeutic kind of training, or were you training them to understand that these young people or children are coming from certain environments that they need to be supported in a certain way, or how are you training them?
I did it a fair bit by discussion of case studies.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Actual, and there was theory and so on, but if you bring in actual stories, it helps a lot for teachers to think about it in terms of their own practice. And I mean, one of the questions would be, so what would you have done about little Johnny? Yeah. The other thing I wanted to say in this, when we were talking about men before, was, getting into a power and control position. The other thing about that is, if as a man I admit that there are these things in my past, that's admitting some insecurity. So they have to be given some sort of sense of it's okay to admit that I'm not perfect. I can admit that, but I feel quite secure about that. But
I'm a cultural guy, and I agree with you. It takes quite some time for you to build that belief that it's not harmful to say I'm in pain. And it took me a while before I accepted when I have pain. And speaking of pain and all that, Adela, you are in trauma-informed therapeutic practice.
Yes.
Just for the sake of our viewers, trauma-informed, the word trauma-informed
Yes.
therapeutic, what does it mean?
Well, it derives very strongly from that neurobiological understanding of the impact of harm and how it comes about.
Yeah.
And what I think happens, that there are some misunderstandings about what being trauma-informed implies,
Yes.
right? One of the misunderstandings is that it implies you have to excuse unacceptable behaviour. You don't have to excuse it, but you do have to understand it
Okay.
and explain it.
Okay.
Because if you can't explain it and understand it, one's reaction will automatically, most likely, be quite punitive. Because, that's what happens in schools. You have a child who is in a heightened state most of the time. If the teacher doesn't understand what trauma really does to a child, then they are likely to react rather than respond. So a reaction is what happens in you. As a normal person, we all react to things. But with the children we're talking about and the adults we're talking about, that reaction is not helpful. The best way of working towards change is by responding. And to respond, we have to hold in our reaction. Right? So if I just react, what have I provided? More reinforcement of the person being bad and less likelihood that they will feel safe enough to change. And also we've handed a little bit of shame, extra little shake of shame onto it, which doesn't help. So healing comes about, change comes about through understanding what the presentation means, what's it a symptom of, and some reflection. And one of the things I do in my consultancy work is provide reflective space groups for people who are working with young people.
Which I must admit, sorry Adela to cut you there, but I must admit that kind of reflective space is very powerful.
Very.
It's very powerful. It's very impactful, especially in environments, working environments.
Absolutely.
And the likes. Yeah.
And some people do that naturally. Other people don't. When we started out Hurstbridge Farm in 2007, we recruited very carefully. We recruited with some very careful capacities in mind. We got a large group of very committed, caring staff, and even those staff who'd been through a 3-stage process of recruitment.
Wow.
Some of them couldn't do it.
That was thorough.
They could not hold back their reaction and put in its place a response based on knowledge of trauma. And it sorted itself out because those people didn't find that the work was what they expected, and so they left. And it was a good thing. It was no shame that they left. They just couldn't do it. But, when we were first working together in the early 70s, almost in an unspoken way, we did work to understand the children rather than just react to what they doled out. Did we not?
And it meant a lot to them, even if it wasn't sort of spoken. And I have to say, when my wife and I decided that it was time for us to have a family and she left that place, several of the girls followed Pat and actually in our home. We frequently
I remember.
frequently had girls who, one of them actually she harassed the housing commission, as it was at that time, to give her a flat, a housing commission flat, which is at the end of our street, so that she would have regular access. It was like, Pat would never say, I'm the mother or anything, but she was the person who was their rock.
She was.
Yeah.
She was.
After, one of them being in institutions ever since she was about 6 years old, and some of her experiences in institution were terrible as well. And so she gets to this program with Della and Pat and some of the others, and it just sort of dawns on her that she can move through this sort of stage of stabilisation through people who were not only trustworthy but understanding and seem to know the right things to say even when these girls were, out of control.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. That was where I cut my teeth in terms of understanding. And of course, Bob's wife, Pat, was my greatest mentor in the world in terms of what I learnt. But even what I learnt there grew and grew and grew the more that I learnt about complex trauma and what it did to individuals. And there are many facets to that. But all of those facets, if you bring them together and use those pieces of knowledge and add to them what we later discovered through Dr. Bruce Perry and other specialists in complex trauma, they have put together the foundations and the later development of amazing opportunities to heal. Now, one of the challenges is that it appears to cost more. Right? Governments look and they go, it's too expensive. But it only appears to cost more because the benefit you get down the track means that it actually costs
It's worth
less.
an investment, yes. Yes.
And in terms of social competence and the benefit of society in general, the cost is considerably less. Don't have the figures off the top of my head, but it is absolutely proven through evaluations that the approach of understanding and responding rather than reacting produces effectively better outcomes for children, and then they carry that into their life.
Yeah, we see it even with our children when we try to support them differently from how we were brought up. Because when I look back at most of the families I have observed around me and how they brought up their children through the years and the patterns to which have occurred from the previous generations, you start to identify where these things are stemming from. And of course, right now there's a lot of say the technology and exposure to the world, but we still need, like if I travel back home, and this is something when I do frequently, I try as much as possible and engage with different people, teachers and students and adults of different kind of backgrounds or professions, and you find that they're very limited in terms of information, in terms of trauma, trauma-informed care. And you start to see how when you engage with them from your understanding, how they respond, it makes you realize that these people, we actually need certain interventions. We need to just adjust our policies at work, because
Indeed.
right now we still have students who are still being punished for coming to school late without understanding what's going on at home. Did I eat last night? No. Probably there was some kind of violence at home.
Without doubt.
Yeah, so we tend to keep on punishing. We still have a student being punished and to an extent of dying by caning. And such things require that adults have also understanding through interventions, professional interventions. And I feel like every school, like every health institution, they need to teach and formulate policies and initiatives like yours, Adela, so that we can be able to find collaborative, effort towards supporting our young people.
I like to tell stories,
Yes.
right? Because I think stories, just little snippets,
Yes.
demonstrate very clearly what is happening.
Yeah.
So, if I may, I'm going to tell this very quick story.
Quick one.
We had a
Before
boy.
we wrap up.
We had a boy who came to. He was one of our first children in the program at Hurstbridge, and he was 13 and a half. He came from an exceptionally violent home, really violent, seriously violent. House was full of holes in the walls. Father would just go berserk without warning.
Wow.
And he spent his life on the streets, right, from the age of 5 and a half. He would go on the train into the city and sit near the Salvation Army van all day because he felt safe there.
Near the Salvation Army van.
Yeah. And, there were attempts made to place him in all sorts of different settings. He never stayed anywhere. Wherever he was, he would get on the train and he would be in the city. So the city was his safety.
Yeah.
So he came to us at 13 and a half, and what we did with each of the kids was assign key workers to them. We knew that he was going to want to work through his connection with the city. Yeah. So proactively, we didn't wait for him to run away. Why would you do that? We know he's going to. So going to be proactive. So we got his key worker to take him in to the city. And he said, what do you mean? And we said, well, you love it in there. You feel safe in there.
Yeah.
You don't know us yet. But also we're not going to just let you go in there because that doesn't help you to feel safe. So we're going to take you there. And he took him in, must have been nearly 10 times, by arrangement. And he took him around to visit some of the places that he knew.
Yeah.
Now, to cut a very long story short, that's what we did at the start, and it did work because he stayed put a lot more. And then he was starting to really relax and become comfortable. And then he had to go to court, children's court, for a matter that had happened before he came to us. Yeah. And I said to the person who was taking him to court, watch him like a hawk, because he's going to touch his old life and it's really going to call him. Yeah. This is very early on in the piece. Anyway, he didn't run off. He came back. But about 3 or 4 hours later, I was putting stuff in my car and he came riding down from the back of the property on his bike. Okay. Now, he was riding pretty fast, but he saw me and he had been heading up the driveway, But he didn't go up the driveway. He did a big screaming U-turn and came to talk to me. And he said, and I'll observe a no swearing policy here, but he said to me, I feel like effing off. And I thought, you have to think quick in these situations. I thought, well, you do and you don't. Because if you really fully did, you would have gone.
You'd have gone, yeah.
You wouldn't have come round to talk to me. So what do you want from me? You want me to say don't go.
Yeah.
Of course. So I said to him, I'd really rather you didn't go. But again, calm, no, not reactive, not shaming. I'd really prefer it if you didn't go.
Yeah.
But why? Why? Because I'll be worried about it. But if you like, if you really feel, you have to think hard, and if you really feel that you must go, I will get someone to take you in. But not on your own. And he said, you could see the cogs turning in his mind. He said, oh, all right. And then he started to help me put the stuff in my car that I was trying to put in. And by the time that the guy who was taking him in, who I'd asked, was almost ready, I said, okay, so he's going to take you in, and we were all, and he said, oh, it was like he was doing him a favour to go in. He said, oh, all right. And I said, no, I think you do need to go because otherwise you might suddenly want to go and there'll be no one. So you should go, which he did do, and he was home in bed by 11:30 that night. But he insisted on ringing me to say that he was there.
Feeling safe. Feeling safe.
Now, to me, that says a lot of things.
It does.
About what we did and how responding rather than reacting was so important. And understanding, what did he want from me? Why did he come round to talk to me?
Why did he choose you?
Why did he choose me? Why did he stop at all?
Yeah.
Because he knew already what feeling safe felt like.
Safety. And that's what the Wellness Diary represents. Adela, Bob, as we wind up the show, just 30 seconds to 1 minute. What would you like
one
to...
One thing that I want to add, and that is that there is actually a political context to all of this. Della does great work on an individual level and through agencies and so on. Going back to the 1970s, we did amazing work in the community and it was encouraged by the state government. But now there's a trend right back in the other direction. One of the big influences on that is that the number of young people in care and detention reduced as a result of the sort of work that we were doing.
Wow.
But the federal government subsidises states only on the basis of the numbers in prisons and correctional settings. So Victoria still has the lowest proportion in prison as a result of that era, but we now have political context where people are saying adult crime, adult time. So
glad we're at the end. Don't get me started on that one.
The impact of that on the way teachers behave, police behave. Then
wow,
I just think
and I'm looking forward to for us to engage more in the upcoming episodes as well, and we can expand more on this, the impact to which we are being derailed from achieving some of these initiatives, which are very important to our day-to-day life. Adela, your last words.
My last words are, and it sort of relates to what Bob's saying,
yes.
just said. Because there are misunderstandings in the more general public, I would like to find ways of bringing these understandings in front of the general public,
Yes.
so that they don't fall for it when somebody says, "Oh, a boot camp out in the bush is all that's needed."
Yeah.
These are programs that often waste money. We could be far more focused and targeted about how we use the money we've got if people understood what complex trauma was all about.
Well, boot camps are about control.
Yeah. And they might be fine while they're happening.
Yeah.
Not saying they're not, but they cannot bring about the kind of long-term change. You need 2 years to change brain patterns and neurobiology at least.
Adela, Bob, we could go on the whole day.
We could.
Thank you very much for taking your time to come in the show. I'm looking forward for us to do more engagement and hopefully have the both of you travel with me to Kenya so that we can collaborate with Kenyans and create more change.
Well, that would be
Well,
very exciting.
there it is. You had it for yourselves. Adela and Bob, very inspiring, very educational. The role of our wellness diary is to create awareness to you and to bring it to your homes. Thank you so much for being part of today's conversation. If something in this episode resonated with you, make sure to share that with someone who may need it or might need to hear it too. At the Wellness Diary, we are building more than just a podcast. We're building a community focused on awareness, education, healing, and honest conversations around mental health and well-being. We also send out monthly email drops featuring reflections, mental health insights, blogs, upcoming events, and resources designed to support you on your journey. You can sign up through the link in our bio or via our website. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe across all platforms so that you never miss a conversation. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and remember, you belong, you can believe, and you're becoming.